Welcome to Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger, a.k.a. Wrecking Yard Will. And right now, we have a very special guest. We have the one and only Jackson Holliday, number one 2022 Major League Draft, High School Player of the Year. Scored up last year in the minor leagues, going all the way from rookie to AAA, hitting 323. As always, I have my co-host and owner-operator of the show, former minor league scout. He was once dunked on by Len Bias, ended his basketball career in college, a man of many talents and a true legend in my eyes, Tad Powers. Jackson, thanks so much for being a guest on Sandlot and the Crew.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we normally like to start in the Sandlot days, the Little League days. So I want to ask you, what was your experience like Little League in Oklahoma? Did you get to play with Ethan at all in Little League? You guys are a couple years apart, and just overall, what was that like growing up there? Your Sandlot experience, playing backyard ball with Ethan and guys in the neighborhood, that kind of thing.
Yeah, obviously my dad playing baseball for a really long time. We moved around, so I got to play Little League baseball in all sorts of different places, from Colorado to New York and Florida and St. Louis. So yeah, a lot of crazy memories, a lot of many teammates and a lot of friends growing up. But when I was about 12 years old in St. Louis is probably some of my favorite memories as a younger kid. Had a really good team. I think we were the number one team in St. Louis at the time, and we went to Myrtle Beach and we won tons of tournaments. But those were probably some of my better memories. I think we had like 7 or 8 Division I baseball players on a 12U team, so
Oh,
pretty talented 12U team that I got to be a part of. So that was a lot of fun. And then whenever we went to New York, I was about 13. I had some pretty fun games up there, and getting to be able to just play kids all over the country at a young age, and that kind of helped me to with my skills with teammates and getting to know people, and obviously being in the clubhouse growing up and being around big league guys, it makes getting to know people a whole lot easier.
Well, you were notorious for the perpetual wiffle ball game at Coors Field because you were, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and every day there was a wiffle ball game going on in that clubhouse. And I was a victim of one of the line drives off the back at one point, and it's just like whoever got the ball picked it up and threw it at you, and you just squared it up. And what was so impressive was how you could just shift to whoever was going to throw it to you and get square to them like that was the pitcher. And it might come from any part of the clubhouse, and you still figured out that how to stand and square. And at such a young age, I was a scout. I was going, what is this? This kid is unbelievable. So I kept watching. And the impression that you made on me was exposure to some of the greatest baseball talent of all time in that clubhouse, Larry Walker and Todd Helton and your dad, and not to mention about 100 others. You're just watching that, and it's the visuals that you got that just kind of they burn into the brain, and your swing is going to imitate something like that. Who was the guy? Because that swing is sweet, dude.
Yeah, I don't really know if there's an exact imitation. I think there's bits and pieces of guys that I really enjoy watching. But yeah, growing up in the clubhouse, being able to see big leaguers and all-star games and World Series and playoffs, I think that's what I wanted to do ever since I can remember. And to be able to live that out now and have a chance to play in the big leagues as soon as next year, it's quite a blessing. But yeah, I don't know if there's a specific guy that I model my swing after. I know I have kind of my dad's leg kick, but I'm left-handed and don't have near as much thump. But there's a lot of guys that I really enjoy watching, like Corey Seager and Trey Turner and a lot of these guys that are left-handed hitting shortstops or guys that can really run. I think those are the kind of guys that I want to be, and I want to be able to impact the game in many different ways. But I try to have my own swing, so hopefully people will try to imitate me someday.
Well, we talk about the tools. There's 5 physical things that scouts look at when they evaluate players. It's running, throwing, fielding, hitting, and power hitting. You understood those things at a young age. And I know that you've worked on the ones that you might be a little short on to get even better at them. And that's what most players don't understand. They might be thumpers, and that's all they work on. But man, you got to be able to play the game in all aspects. And you're as close to a 5-tool guy coming up as Larry Walker was. And I'll tell you right now, I scouted a long time. One of the only legitimate 5-tool guys, top of the scale on all 5, was Larry Walker. And man, your dad played alongside him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty neat to to see all the guys that he got to play with and play against. We try to ask him stories about playing against Barry Bonds. I know that's kind of every single guy that comes to hit with us, they're like, who's the best player ever played against? And that's always his answer. So it's pretty neat to hear stories about him playing against a lot of really great players.
So Jackson, going back to the Little League for a second, you mentioned you guys had a phenomenal 12-year-old team. So what? I know you're a very humble guy, but it's okay to brag for a sec right now, and you're 12. So what were you like as a 12-year-old player? Were you one of the big kids on the team, already throwing a bunch of bombs, or how yourself, 12-year-old?
I was well rounded. I think I've been well rounded for about 20 years. I don't think I had crazy crazy strength or throw the ball harder than anybody, but I was well rounded. I knew how to play the game as a young kid, and I could hit a homer if you needed it, but I could play the game the right way as I was taught, and yeah, I could hit a little. I've always been able to get on base and hit doubles and triples, and yeah, so that was me. I think I won a few MVPs of those tournaments, but I wasn't the guy that hit a home run every other at bat, but I could get you a double.
What about Cooperstown? At 12, did you guys go to that Cooperstown Dreams Park tournament?
Yeah, I went as an 11-year-old. I was the youngest kid in the tournament, and I didn't hit a home run. So Ethan's got that over me. Ethan hit like 10 or something. So if Ethan was the big kid with all the power that threw harder than everyone. So if you ever have him on here, that's your guy for that category. Is he's the one that hit it further than everyone and threw it harder.
Well, he's got some size, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a little bit more like my dad when it comes to that big strength guy. So
Well, let's
he's
talk a little about this lineage thing because, I've known your grandpa Tom and Dave, your great uncle, for a really long time, and they've been in the game as long as anybody. And then you've got Josh, your dad's brother, who, man, you know what Dave told me? He said he worked out harder than any of them. Everybody would be in there eating dinner, and where's Josh? And he'd be out there hitting until his hands were bleeding, basically. And so he worked so hard, and he became a professional, but didn't quite have the skill set that your dad has, right? But man, he's a great coach, and Oklahoma State's going to win a national championship with him there. I know it. So that's cool. And then Dave, he's been scouting, and your dad and Dave were together at Yavapai in Miami. I mean, I'm sorry, Grandpa and Dave. And then they both go into scouting and coaching. And even Dave's son, Heath, who we've had on the show as well, your cousin, he's up there at Austin P and he's been a scout. And so it's the whole family. There's this lineage. And now it's you, it's Ethan, and you got a little brother too. Let's talk about little bro.
which one, Ethan or Reed?
Reed, because I've heard that he might be the beast of the crew.
Yeah, he's quite a character. We're trying to get him more into baseball. He loves football right now, so big NFL fan, knows everything about the NFL and all those guys. But yeah, he's quite a character. He's a pretty good little athlete too, but he's got plenty of time, and hopefully he starts hitting the cage a little bit more. We got a cage at the house, so hopefully he falls in love with baseball. But yeah, he's definitely really athletic for an 8-year-old, so or 10-year-old. I don't even
And a
think he's
lot of
10.
people don't know how good your dad was as a high school quarterback, because he just went straight into baseball. But man, he was as good as anybody in the country his senior year in high school. Taking snaps and going back and fading and try to tackle that dude.
Yeah, that would be no fun in high school for sure.
Wow. So, Will, let's talk a little bit about some of the stats that this young man put up as a senior in high school, because I scouted a long time, and you just don't see those numbers, and they're freakish. And when you put them up against like a major league season, it's just insane. So, Will, go ahead. Let's talk about that senior year.
Yeah, Jackson. So 685 average, which is just unheard of. I think the on base was around 750. Set the national high school record for most hits in a single season with 89. Only 40 games, so you're getting at least 2 hits a game. On top of that, you got 17 jacks, and I believe out of the 89 hits, about 50 of them were extra base hits. So, talking about playing 12-year-old baseball, it seems like you kind of put up those little league type numbers in high school, man. That had to be a lot of fun. What was that like?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have a very good summer. The travel ball summer, everyone thinks that's the key to getting drafted, but I think it was a lot of fun to be able to play in travel ball, and I was lucky enough to be able to do all the events and play on Team USA, which was such an awesome experience. But after that, I knew I wanted to get better, and I knew I had to get better if I wanted to be in the situation that I am now. And I cleaned up my swing quite a bit and got a whole lot stronger. And I was prepared for the high school season to go out and dominate. That was kind of my goal. I knew that I'd been facing a whole lot better competition during the summer, and I knew that I could have a really good year. I hit 500 as a junior, so I was like, okay, I can do a whole lot better than that. And getting to play with Ethan made it a whole lot more fun. Just having him on the same team and hitting behind me, and it was just a lot of fun, and there was no pressure or anything. It was just going out there and playing and enjoying it with him. And yeah, we had 30 scouts at every game and GMs and scouting directors, and it was a lot of fun and pretty crazy. But yeah, just being able to play with him and some of my buddies and just enjoying it made it a whole lot easier. But yeah, I was pretty locked in and hitting in Oklahoma and in the spring when it's 85 degrees and nice. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah,
Well, this is how I put it into perspective. You play 40 games, you get 89 hits. That's over two a game. You got an RBI, two RBIs a game. You got 2 runs scored a game, and you almost got a stolen base a game. So when you put that into a major league 162 games, we're talking about it's 300 hits. It's it's 300 hits. It's insane. It's 300 RBIs.
Yeah, luckily or unfortunately, it's not high school pitching in the big leagues, or else I don't even
No,
get up there. So it
it's sure not.
gets a little bit more difficult, but I enjoy the challenge. So
Well, the
yeah,
challenge you met this year, I mean, and I talked to your dad early. He was on the show when you were, I think, maybe in rookie ball. And you jumped, and then you jumped, and then you jumped. And every step of the way, we were following it, and you just kept tearing it up at every level. And it's like, his spot is in the big leagues, and he's going to do the same thing there. So I'm looking forward to this next season, buddy.
yeah, you and me both. Pretty excited to be part of a super talented organization. So really excited.
no
I got to
kidding.
tell you, I was in that organization in 1988, and the major league club started out 0-21 that year, buddy.
Yeah,
So, as you can imagine, if you're playing an A ball, the heckling that was going on when you're in the A ball and they're saying, well, the big leaguers can't even make a play. You guys must really suck. We were getting heckled. 0-21 to start a season. That's painful. Now look at you guys. You're going to win 100 games. You're going to, who knows? This could be a World Series year for you guys.
yeah, that'd be pretty special. So looking forward to hopefully making an impact on that team.
And Baltimore needs it. It would be a big boost for that city if you guys pulled that off.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome.
So I wanted to go back real quick to you and Ethan playing together in high school and those four pitchers. I see you two back to back in the lineup. I'm sure they were just shaking in their boots. I'm surprised either of you got pitched to enough, for, especially you, to get that many hits. But you talked about after that summer not having the greatest summer. You really wanted to get stronger, and you kind of said you fixed your swing a little bit. So talk to me about what you did to kind of fix your swing. Were you trying to shorten up, or what was that like, and about the strength training you started doing?
Yeah, I kind of got away from kind of who I was. I tried to do too much that summer and try to impact the game in ways that I don't really impact it when it comes to homers and stuff like that. So I kind of got back to who I was and who my swing always has been, as far as like a leg kick and driving the ball the other way. And that's what I did. I shortened up and I got back to my leg kick and got into a good position to hit and was able to do that all year. And then when it comes to strength training, I started working out almost 2 times a day and hitting, and I did online classes to be able to do that. And yeah, I really took a big step whenever I started working out consistently. So that's kind of still what I'm trying to do. You go to big league games, these guys are extremely physical, and they have unlimited power and speed, and that's what I need to work on. Even now, I think there's always room to grow in strength, and that's still something that I'm working on. But being able to play with Ethan, and yeah, thank goodness all those coaches decided to try to throw to us because it made it a lot more fun. But it was quite a year.
And that kid's got a junior and a senior season left in high school. And, not only did he get a chance to play with you, but he's got a cousin on that team who's not a bad little ball player either.
Oh yeah, yeah. Brady's been over at the house all Christmas break playing cards, and I think Ethan and him are working out right now. But yeah, Brady can pick it. So pretty excited to see what the season has for him and he. I think they'll probably be playing up the middle together, which will be pretty awesome. Another holiday duo at Stillwater High School. So it's pretty exciting to see that. We've been playing wiffle ball with him forever, and I always knew that he could really pick it and swing it, and he's a good little player. So excited to see what the season has for him.
So
I'm sure you guys got a decent setup at the house for training, and you probably always have at every house over the years. So the ability to just step outside and get after it has always been something at your fingertips. And it does help in the development of a player, but you still got to go out and do it. Because I know kids that have the access, but they don't spend the time. And the time commitment is a huge part of the development. And that's what sets you apart. And I'm sure Ethan and Brady, the level of work that you guys are willing to do. And it's all because of the example set by the lineage of Holiday family that you got, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, being able to go to OSU and hit and take ground balls and work out and be around the college team has been awesome. I know growing up we were in the clubhouse of a big league team, but being able to still have that environment even after my dad was done playing has been pretty awesome to be able to go up there and hang out with those guys and hit BP with them and take ground balls. And I mean, all of our goal is to play in the big leagues one day, and being able to surround yourself with people that have the same goal as you, I feel like is very important. So it's been easy to train. It's something that we all love, and I feel like when you love something, it makes it so much easier.
And you get to do home run derby with your dad, who still has unlimited power, and your little brother, who, the home run derby, I saw you guys beat him pretty well, but I have a feeling that he didn't have that angle. He was hitting a lot of line drives that day,
Yeah, yeah.
but still coming off the bat hard though. My God.
Yeah, he had some pretty good events this summer. He's pretty good at the whole showcase thing, and he hit some really far home runs this summer. So it's pretty cool to be able to do that and compete with him. And I think I still got him by a little bit, but I'm holding on for probably like 3 more days. So
That's great. And yeah, I mean, what's cool is to be able to see him at this next 2 seasons and how far he can take it. You can't go higher than the number one overall pick, though. So
that's
he's
right.
actually got some, he's got some shoes to fill himself. Not to mention you filling your dad's. 15 years in the big leagues, 7-time All Star, MVP one year for sure, and got hosed because I watched that season so many games. That was an MVP season.
Yep. We got a lot to live up to, but we're just trying to do our own thing. But he had an incredible career. I know our whole family is very very proud of him, and yeah, can't go higher than the first pick. So get lucky, but he probably will get picked pretty high, and we're very excited for that day, and hopefully I'm in an All-Star game somewhere. But if not, I'll be here watching it with him.
And your dad, he says he's referred to as Jackson's dad now because the fact that he's retired and people. What sucks about baseball when you're done playing, people kind of forget. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. And now he's Jackson's dad.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think it was at the Orioles press conference after I got drafted, and they referred to him as Jackson's dad. So that's kind of like a little joke that he likes, and yeah, it's pretty funny to think about that, especially after all the stuff that he did in baseball and the kind of name that he carries. So it's pretty funny.
Well, your dad is about as humble as they come, so I'm sure he's happy to reflect any of the attention on you or Ethan. But I wanted to go back to talking about Ethan and his power real quick. So as a sophomore, he hit 451 with I think 15 home runs. Um,
Yeah, or 10. Oh yeah, as a sophomore, yeah, he had 15. Yeah.
15 home runs as a sophomore, which is just nuts. So I wanted to get an early prediction from Big Bro. How many home runs do you think Ethan will and can hit as a junior and a senior? Do you think he'll be able to crack 30 home runs in a game?
I don't I don't know. The problem is finding a team that'll pitch to him.
Pitch to him,
So,
yeah. I'd
yeah,
pitch
so
around him.
last year Coach Gundy's son was on the team, and I think he hit 17 home runs. So at least they had like him right behind Ethan. So I think I mean shoot, he should hit 20 home runs. I think he already has more home runs than me in his high school career. I think he hit 10 as a freshman and 15 as he's got 25. I don't think I have 25 home runs. So it's pretty impressive what he's able to do, and yeah, I think there's no reason that he can't hit 20 home runs this year.
As long as they throw him some strikes, I'm sure he
Right,
will.
right. So they got a good little team. They can hit and pick it a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how far their pitching can take them. I feel like that's always the story of a high school team, but they can hit, and we've always been able to hit a little bit in Stillwater.
Do
Well,
they let
let's.
him get on the mound at all? Does he get to pitch in high school?
No, he pitched a little bit his freshman year. There's no reason for him to get hurt pitching and
No.
try
Keep
to.
him off that bump.
Which
That's for guys that can't do it, all the other stuff. And when you got all those other tools, man, you need to use them.
Yeah, so he's got a pretty incredible arm, but it's more valuable if it's at shortstop. So it's pretty fun to watch.
Do you think he can play shortstop going forward, or is he going to get slid over to third?
I don't know. I think it's kind of whatever he wants. I mean, if you look in the big leagues, there's guys like Correa and Gunnar Henderson and Corey Seager that are big guys. So it's definitely a possibility now. I think more than ever. Obviously, Kyle Ripken was a big dude, but it's kind of starting to trend in that direction. If you're athletic enough and you can get the job done, you can stick it short. I think there's no reason that he can't play in the minor leagues at shortstop. But who knows? He played third baseman or third base his freshman year, so he can he can do both.
I'm sure he can pick it. I'm sure that arm strength, he can play anywhere. You'd probably go play center field.
Yeah, maybe not center field, not that fast, but definitely third and short, and right field would probably be at the worst right field.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go to break. We're going to wrap this segment right here. You're listening to Sandlot, for a Sandlot radio show meets backyard baseball and softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger. As always, Mr. Tad Powers, and none other than Jackson Holliday. We'll be back, so make sure you stay tuned.